Former FBI attorney Kevin Clinesmith is going to be sentenced December 10th for doctoring a document to justify surveillance of former Trump campaign advisor Carter Page. Now, the charge he faces a maximum of 5 years in prison, but reports say it is unlikely he will serve that much, if any, jail time. It's the first criminal case to come from U.S. Attorney John Durham's investigation into the origins of the Trump-Russia probe. But many Democrats still refuse to admit that there was any wrongdoing under the Obama administration. Here's Illinois Senator Dick Durbin speaking to this point on Fox News this morning. Listen.
And when it comes to spying on the Trump campaign, here's what it boiled down to. The intelligence agencies were, in fact, monitoring the conversations of the Russian ambassador to the United States. And when that ambassador engaged with General Kelly, they picked up on the conversation. There's the spying. It had nothing to do with focusing on Kelly. They were focusing on Kislyak, the ambassador. And when they went into conversations about lifting sanctions on Russia, that's when the intelligence agency picked up on it.
Yeah, right. Well, joining me now is Pennsylvania's Guy Reschenthaler. He's from the House Judiciary Committee. Congressman, great to see you. You know, Kevin Clinesmith admits that he committed a felony in order to spy on an American, not on a Russian, but on an American. That's specifically, Senator Durbin sees nothing wrong with that. Your response to him?
Well, David, first off, thanks for having me on tonight.
Thank you.
You know, the bottom line is that the Democrats, I feel, are living in an alternate reality. We know that Clinesmith lied. He actually forged an email to make it seem that Carter Page was a Russian asset. He was actually an asset of the CIA. He was being used to get information on the Russians. And when Clinesmith forged an email and presented that email to the FISA court judges, he lied to the judges, presented false information, and he should be facing the maximum penalty of 5 years. So hopefully he will then turn on those above him, and we can do what's called a bust and turn operation, where you get somebody lower on the rung and then you work your way up. But what the senator was just saying is completely false. And as far as the Obama administration trying to spy on the Trump organization, we know that they set out to do this. Jim Comey and what I call the merry band of never Trumpers set out to help Hillary Clinton win the 26th election. And when they failed to alter the course of that election, they then tried to undermine the transition of power between the Obama administration and the Trump administration.
Yeah. Well, the evidence, we have now evidence, and clearly Durham is going to dig up more evidence. He's already got it, though. We know what Clinesmith's motive was for breaking the law, which he has admitted to. And here's what he said just days after the election in 2016. He said, "The crazies finally won. This is the Tea Party on steroids. We have to fight this again. Also, Vice President Mike Pence is stupid." I mean, the guy just hates the Trump administration. He hated them before they were elected. He hated them the day or two after they were actually elected. And he was going to use his power to lie and cheat to try to get the Trump administration out of office, to defy the will of the people. I mean, that's more than just a minor criminal offense. That's really treason.
Well, David, it just wasn't Clinesmith. There were a whole bunch of unelected bureaucrats that were trying to undermine the will of the American people, undo the 2016 election. It wasn't just him. It was Jim Comey. It was Strzok and Page saying they wanted a quote unquote insurance policy in case President Trump won. And it was this merry band of never Trumpers who then tried to set up Michael Flynn. And we know they tried to set up Michael Flynn because we have copies of their notes where it says, what is the point? Is it to get him to get him to lie? Is it to fire him? Is it to put pressure on him? So they really set out to undermine this president and, by extension, the will of the American people.
And yet, listen to what a woman who actually agreed with your analysis of what Comey did when she was speaking to Senator Lindsey Graham the other day. Listen to what she just told the Democratic convention the other night. Play the tape.
From the moment President Trump took office, he's used his position to benefit himself rather than our country. He's trampled the rule of law, trying to weaponize our Justice Department to attack his enemies and protect his friends.
That, of course, is Sally Yates. She's the former Attorney General of the United States. She was fired by Donald Trump, which was his right to do. But it sounds like she's talking more about Obama-Biden than she is about the Trump administration Justice Department.
David, this is classic social justice warriorism. It's classic liberal tactics, where the left will use what they are doing to attack the right and to attack conservatives. So, for example, the ones that weaponize and politicize the FBI were the higher echelon of the FBI under the Obama administration. So everything she's accusing President Trump of doing, it was actually the Obama administration and Jim Comey that was doing it. So they're trying to deflect, they're trying to conflate and confuse the American people, but it's not going to work.
Well, I hope not. But the bottom line here is that when she's under oath, she tells the truth about what Comey and the rest of them were doing. But when she's speaking at Democratic convention, nobody swore her in to say what she said. She has a different tune. Quickly, did Kleinsmith make a deal to rat on somebody higher up, maybe a John Brennan, maybe even higher than that?
If that's the case, I'm not aware of it. The sentencing is in December, so perhaps something can be worked out from now to then. But I think that someone had to have had knowledge higher up than Kleinsmith. That person, maybe it's Jim Comey, maybe it's Susan Rice, maybe it's even then Vice President Joe Biden. But someone had to have been aware at a higher level that Kleinsmith was forging documents and then lying to the FISA court judges.
Congressman Reschenthaler, I'm glad you're on the House Judiciary Committee, and we thank you for coming in. Good to see you.
Thank you, David. You too.